Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels collector video. Today we are looking at the mainline 87 Dodge D100. Now before I start, I will say I already have the treasure hunt version of this, but it is carded, so I did want a loose version of this, and what's better to add to the collection than a recolor of this. It was a treasure hunt last year, I believe about midway through the year, so it's really nice to see this returning. It's obviously in this metallic pink, and it looks phenomenal, I think. And I think personally it looks better than the treasure hunt, but that's up for discussion, of course. Anyways, let me give you some facts about this car. There wasn't an awful lot on the internet. I don't think this is a very desirable car, if that makes sense. I think it's got quite a small fan base behind it, so it was quite hard to find facts. But what I did manage to find was this truck was powered by a V8, and this generation of the truck produced 170 horsepower. So that being 170, and it was produced for a 9-year run between the years 1978 and 1987. Now this one's the 1987, so this would have been one of the last ones. Then the new model came out in 1988. This car only came with a 2-door version. There was no 4-door option either, and that's really it for what I could find. Obviously this is not a standard version of the car, this is kind of like an off-road version. I also could not find anything that was, the real life version of this casting, so I believe it is just a Hot Wheels own take on this car. I think it does look great, to be entirely honest, with all this off-road kit, including obviously that ram bar at the front, the spare tyre in the back, and those off-road lights there, as well as some lovely structural additions to this car. Anyways, let's get into the showcase of the car. Alright, so kicking this review off, from the side of the car, we have the off-road beadlock wheels from 2009. Those are in a almost sandy brown colour, and for the paint on them, they are in a, what I believe to be a chrome yellow colour. It's a really interesting colour, but it actually doesn't look too bad. It's quite odd though with this colour scheme. Maybe it would have looked better in, like, I don't know, a chrome pink. Obviously this car is in metallic pink. It's almost like a candy pink, if you will. It's a really nice colour, or maybe even a candy red. It's really nice actually. I like this colour a lot. It's not too realistic. It's more of a Hot Wheels own take on this car, but I don't mind it, to be honest. I think it's quite cool. You can also see the rear of this car sits lower than the front. Gives that real nice off-roading look. If I go a bit further away from the car, you can see that a little bit easier. It's not that noticeable, but it is there. As for the tamper work on this car, it has this almost striping theme. So we have a red stripe, a white stripe, and a blue stripe. So you can see here we also have the Dodge writing there, as well as BF Goodrich. I believe that was in the treasure hunt version of this last year as well, so obviously they want to be on the Dodge D100 a lot, or Hot Wheels just decide to be putting them on there, but obviously BF Goodrich tyres. Then we have the number 100. I'm not sure what significance that might have to this car. I would imagine something, because usually any numbers that are found on Hot Wheels cars have some meaning towards the specific model. We also have the Hot Wheels logo, which is done in red. Very nice. Blends in nicely with the pink colour, which is obviously metallic, as I've previously said. We also have the Mopar logo as well. The reason that's there is because this is a Dodge, so anything that is made by Dodge is a Mopar, and you find it on pretty much all the Dodges, that logo from Hot Wheels. Really nice. There are no wing mirrors on this casting, unfortunately, so that is kind of a shame, but hey, it is a mainline, so I'm not too fussed. If it was premium though, then we would have a little bit more of a problem. So the front is really, really nicely done. First of all, this bull bar is created using the black interior plastic. So obviously the interior is black. I didn't mention that before, but there you go. It is. Also, the front windows have been rolled down. I'm going to mention that now as well before I forget. Now back to the front. We do not have any tamper work on the actual front. So the headlights as well as the grille have not been tampered. But in this particular model, the headlights are actually covered up, especially like even on the card art. So there you go. They're not meant to have any tampo anyway. As for that grille though, you could add your own details if you wish, using Sharpie, acrylic paint, or any of that stuff. You might even have your own ways of doing that. Alright, taking a look at the hood, we do actually have some tampo work here. So we have some stripes. We have a blue one here and another blue one there. And we also have a thin white one which kind of wraps all the way around the hood, and then we have that Mopar livery and writing as well returning. We also have a large hood vent which is actually in the metal casting itself, really nice. And we also have those vents as well as some windshield wipers. Can you see those windshield wipers? Those are actually in the metal casting itself and not on the window, which is interesting. Alright, moving along to this next side. It is the same as the previous, so I'm not going to bore you, but you can pause the video and have a look if you so wish. Alright, now taking a look at the rear. Once again, we have no tamper work. Rear lights are there, but unfortunately they're just not tampered. I don't know if this Hot Wheels own take would have any rear lights or if they would just kind of be covered up like the front ones. But if you decide to make this a custom, you might want to paint them. So again, using the same techniques as I previously mentioned. You can obviously see the base of this car is also in that same sandy brown as the wheels. You can see that being used on the lower section of the rear bumper. As for the actual bed of this car, it does not have a tailgate, interestingly. That has been taken off by Hot Wheels. Obviously the real life standard version of this car would have a tailgate. That's an interesting take. And we also have a spare wheel in the back that is created using the black interior plastic. Real nice use of that. We also have these added roll bars in the back. At least I'm pretty sure that's what they are. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I've forgotten just now. I do know the name, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I think they're roll bars, but please do correct me if I'm wrong. And you can see there's also some lights up at the top. They are not tampered on the front, so again, you could use Sharpie or acrylic paint to add those details yourself. And I'll show you that right now, that they're not tampered there. Speaking of this area up here, we do have a little bit more tamper work that I haven't mentioned. So here you go. It's just kind of that continuation of that thin white stripe on the roof. Really cool to see that. And yeah, that's really it for this showcase. Now to the review. Alright, so now it's time for the review and my opinions. I really do like this casting. I think it's awesome and it's great to see it coming back so many times. I know that the treasure hunt was one of the more desirable from last year because it was a licensed one, and it's back again this year. If you missed it and you're new to collecting, you can obviously have this one here, or if you're like me and you don't want to unbox a treasure hunt, it's here as well in a nice pink colour. And I think this looks better than the treasure hunt actually. So really, really great, and it's honestly done really, really well. It's accurate to the real life model. I have obviously been looking at it because I'm not a big, I don't know everything about American cars. So obviously I've been doing a lot of research on it, trying to find any facts, but there wasn't a whole lot on it, unfortunately, out there. I'm sure some American fans and people who live in America will know a lot more about this car and can probably enlighten me some more on this one about facts that aren't so easily come across on the internet. Anyways, now it's time for me to give a score out of 10. I'm going to give this car a solid 7 out of 10. I think this is a really, really cool one, and it's definitely one that I would recommend picking up. Remember, everything over 7 out of 10 is worth picking up in my opinion, and is a really, really nice car to add to your collection. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss any new uploads and you get that notification of when they get uploaded. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or in any groups who may be interested, but remember, don't feel pressured to do so if you don't think you have anybody who may be interested. You being here to watch this video is more than enough for me. Anyways, I hope to see you guys in the next one, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye bye everyone.